Good morning. How the devil are you doing this fine day? As you can see, the beard has gone. It was partly out of boredom and partly to avoid children mistaking me for Santa in the weeks ahead. I'm sure it'll be back at some point. But for now, I'm enjoying the feeling of a cold chin. Now, you find me this morning somewhere between embarrassed and slightly smug. A couple of years ago, I told my son Fred that the Demolition News Instagram channel would peak at around 20,000 followers. No idea where I plucked that figure from, but I was sure that Demolition was a bit of a niche within a niche, and that an Instagram page dedicated to it would be of interest only to a relatively small number of people. Yesterday, we picked up our 150,000th follower, confirming us as the biggest online community for the demolition sector and making us one of the biggest construction-related Instagram channels in the entire world. Even though this highlights just how wide of the mark my original prediction was, I'm incredibly proud of all that we've accomplished, particularly when you think much of our growth has taken place since COVID-19 and the pandemic and the ensuing lockdown turned the world on its head. And we're not done yet. In fact, by way of a change, I'm going to end today's show with a quick look at some of our plans for the year ahead. Incidentally, my weekly column dropped earlier this morning. It's all about how construction equipment manufacturers seem to be selling the lifestyle of their equipment rather than its work capabilities. It's a subject we touched upon during Friday's show, so I'd love to get your thoughts on all that. You can read the article using the link that I'm about to post in the chat. But without further ado, let me roll the intro, post the question of the day, and get this show on the road. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I'm your host, Mark Anthony. It is Monday, the 7th of November, and as that remarkably persistent guy just said, welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. In today's show, we're talking about future fuels and technology with Hyundai construction equipment. There's an exclusive look at the all-new and all-electric TX7 compact loader from Bobcat. It's plain sailing for FAE, and there's a familiar-looking elf that will not be left on the shelf this Christmas. Plus, we're going to give you an exclusive insight into some of our plans for 2023 and beyond. And we'll get to all of that in just a second. But first, let's see who among the rich and the shameless will be celebrating a birthday on this day of days. Happy birthday! And it's many happy returns to explorer James Cook and to scientist Marie Curie. Happy birthday also to Marxist revolutionary Leon Trotsky, evangelist Billy Graham, model Jean Shrimpton, and singer Joni Mitchell. To footballer John Barnes, Super Size Me star and director Morgan Spurlock, and to former West Ham and England defender Rio Ferdinand. Yes, I know he went on to do other things with other clubs, but he's a West Ham man through and through. Many happy returns to them, one and all. One of the companies making the biggest splash at the recent Bauma 2022 exhibition was unquestionably Hyundai. The company staked its claim as an innovation leader, showcasing its first hydrogen-fueled excavator, an electric mini excavator, and even a demolition spec wheel loader. In an exclusive interview, I caught up with Hyundai's Dr. Hubertus Munster. The full interview is almost 10 minutes long, so I'm just going to play you a snippet for now. This Bauma to me feels very different. I've done 8 or 9 Baumas now. This one feels very different in that I feel like we're at a changing point, with the advent of electric machines, hydrogen machines, telematics. Technology seems to be playing a very, very key role, and Hyundai is really embracing that, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. We've really put a big focus here on our tech zone, which is out there in a separate tent, in which we're showcasing all the latest technology that we have in-house, and that will definitely function as a game changer for us, but also for the industry as a whole. And I pretty much share your opinion. I believe that Bauma in 3 years' time will look completely different. I think we will less talk about machines and heavy equipment and metal and hydraulics, but much more about efficiency gains, about smart technologies and how it gives incremental additional value to our valued customers.
I'm sometimes concerned that I live and the manufacturers live in a kind of bubble. I get very excited about electric machines and hydrogen machines and telematics and all that kind of thing. Is the market, is the average excavator operator really ready for that kind of technology yet?
Well, I can't invite you to spend the next hour with me down there at the stand. We will run into plenty of customers that are very excited about the technology and which can already imagine several situations in which they will use our technology in future. In fact, we have several customers that have asked for being the first one to try out our hydrogen machine out there. Very seriously asking, we want to be your first customer for that machine because sustainability is at the top of our agenda nowadays in our company. Specifically bigger companies, they are very much after this technology. I've been talking to several key accounts yesterday that told me that they have set up several sustainability departments within their companies. And of course, these departments are extremely interested in zero carbon emission technology like our hydrogen excavator out there.
We find ourselves in a slightly strange position in that Hyundai is effectively leading technology. You've produced a machine that can run on hydrogen, and yet to actually get the hydrogen to go in that machine, that's not quite so easy. You're that far ahead of the market, aren't you?
We are. I can really proudly say we are, and I think this really differentiates us from many others out there, basically from everybody out there. I think Hyundai today as a group, as a whole, is in a unique position, and we want to really harvest from that. All the technology needed to not just build a hydrogen machine, but also to own the entire value chain of hydrogen, from the production of green energy, the production of green hydrogen, to the logistics behind hydrogen, shipping hydrogen across the ocean with big tankers, building the infrastructure to supply hydrogen to the customers, not even mentioning our Hyundai Oil Bank, our company-owned fuel station company, up to the level where we built the machines to consume the hydrogen. I think we could own the entire value chain here at Hyundai, and I think in that position we're really completely unique on the market. No one else is anywhere near that. But Hyundai, as a company as a whole, with all its division within the group, is really able to own that entire value chain.
If you'd like to watch the full video, you can use the link that I've just posted in the chat. Alternatively, you can head on over to Demolition News, where the interview is our current lead story, or if you follow me on LinkedIn, you can catch it there as well. We've just seen the innovation that Hyundai is deploying in the field of demolition and construction equipment, but they're not alone, as you're about to hear in our latest Messe München Memories slot. And yes, I have just switched my hat and my glasses. I've done so for a very specific reason. The COVID-19 pandemic and the resulting lockdown forced many equipment manufacturers to freeze, or to at least take a step backwards. Not Bobcat. While others took their foot off the gas, Bobcat put their foot to the floor, delivering a wave of new technology and new machines. Machines like the all-new T7X.
Bauma 22, Bauma is back. T7X represents a lot of different strategies here at Bobcat. One of them is sustainability. We really want to cut emissions on our machines. T7X is kind of a symbol for that. And the T7X is also a fully electric machine, an all-electric machine. And when a lot of people say all-electric, when we say all-electric, we mean all-electric. There are no hydraulics on board. Very few liquids that go on the machine. It's a coolant. And all the hydraulics have been replaced by actuators or drive motors. It's fired by a lithium-ion battery that powers up the whole unit. So when we say all-electric, we really mean all-electric here. The T7X is meant for an environment. Now that environment could be places like where you cannot use diesel machines, or places where you have ESG goals or regulations. So it really ranges from end customers to big rental companies. We've had interest from all over the place. It's really coming from everywhere, honestly. We did think initially it would be places where you have regulations, but it is actually coming from everywhere. During COVID, a lot of companies, as you said, did cut back on innovation and R&D. We put our foot on the gas pedal. We said, you know what? This is a time when we bring people together, even if it was virtually, and work on projects that we probably didn't have time to work before, and put them in top gear. This is a result. We're working on autonomy. If you've seen the recent news, we're working on autonomous mowers. We're working on radar sensors that help us achieve autonomy. So there's a ton of stuff that's actually coming out. We've had the largest launch of products in the history of the company in the last 2 years. We're just getting started here at Bobcat.
I have to say, very impressed with the T7X, and I was almost as impressed with the team at Bobcat itself. In fact, we've got a feature-length interview with another member of the Bobcat team currently going through the editing process. We're bringing that to you as soon as we possibly can.
The Miller GT series heralds a new era of unrivaled power and cutting-edge intelligent coupler technology, increasing job site safety, machine versatility, and productivity. It's the added versatility that you need at the value you can afford. To find out more, visit millergroundbreaking.com.
You might know him as the brains behind the Content with Media channel. You might know him as the uncrowned king of LinkedIn. You might even know him as our occasional roving reporter. But there is another side to Peter Haddock, as you're about to see.
Hi, I'm Peter Elf, and I've got a bit of a problem. In fact, I'm quite worried about Christmas. There's not anything on the shelf for the elves to give as presents. But don't worry, I'm here with Santa, and I'm going to ask him a few questions, because he's just flown by a convoy that's gone all the way to Ukraine, and they've delivered 1,500 gifts of aid, haven't they, Santa?
They have indeed, Peter, they have indeed.
And they've done it all together. There was a convoy. How many of the people were in the convoy and how many vans were there?
There were 15 vans, Peter, and there were lots of people in the convoy, lots.
So I think I've got some new elf friends from the Plant and Hire Aid Alliance. Do you think we could ask them to help us for Christmas?
I think we could, Peter, I think we could.
You know what, folks? I'd like to ask all those people on the convoy if they'll help me deliver some Christmas presents to all the children for Christmas. And I think if they can ask their friends, we can get more elves on a bigger convoy with more presents, Santa. What do you think?
I think it's a great idea, Peter. All they need to do is wrap up a present, put it in Christmas wrapping paper, put a label on it saying what it is, whether it's for a boy or girl and the age range, and send it in. And dear old Santa will get it to those Ukrainian children.
Now, I returned from Balma laden down with hats, models, and a variety of other stuff. As you know, at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, the 23rd of November, we're planning to host our pre-Christmas giveaway show, but we will also have a heap of goodies left over. So I'm planning to help support this initiative by donating those remaining goodies to the Aid Alliance myself. I'm also scheduled to see Peter later this week, so I'll keep you posted on all of that. But if you do have anything you would like to contribute, I'll dig out the link and I'll post it in just a second. But yeah, a very worthwhile exercise. Hats off, elf hats off to Peter Haddock for getting involved.
Since the finance bill came into effect in April, the construction industry has seen a surge of fuel thefts. The rising cost of living has placed an additional risk of theft by employees and contractors, as well as opportunistic thieves. By using diesel dye and placing warnings of its use, you are sending a clear message that this is your fuel.
The road planer. It's not the most exciting item of kit, is it? Like myself, it's a bit of a one-trick pony. However, with some smart video editing, a decent soundtrack, even a road planer can be made to look sexy. road planing has never looked so good. Okay, people, it's time to address the elephant in the room. And for once, I sincerely hope that any rival publications that tune into this show regularly are paying attention. Are you ready? The global economy is unquestionably headed for recession. In fact, that recession has already begun in various national markets. Just this morning, the Construction Products Association published a report that predicted that UK construction output would drop by almost 4% in 2023. Many of us have been here before, some of us multiple times. We know what happens next. Companies in the field of demolition and construction equipment will simply freeze or fail to react swiftly or decisively enough. Others will panic. They will make cuts in haste, cuts to staffing levels, cuts in research and development, and cuts in marketing. The magazines serving the industry will grow thinner, meaning they will have even less space in which to carry the press releases and marketing messages that apparently make up a modern magazine. Even those magazines that only print a fraction of what they claim they print will print less to reduce their print and their distribution costs. Others will downshift their frequency. Monthly magazines will become bi-monthlies. Bi-monthlies will become quarterlies. Quarterlies will become biannual, and so we go on. There is another way, of course, and it's the way in which Demolition News and the Breakfast Show intends to respond to that incoming recession. Attack. Rather than easing back, we're going to double down. Instead of becoming more reliant upon press releases and contributed articles to deliver a filtered narrative, we will give viewers and readers facts. And while some step back from the industry in which they have earned or stolen a living for the past few years, we will get even closer to that industry. We will continue to update Demolition News 5 and 6 days a week. Having already delivered more than 400 daily live shows in under 2 years, we will broadcast a minimum of 200 episodes of The Breakfast Show during 2023. We will take The Breakfast Show on the road, broadcasting from the homes and workplaces of key industry players, from exhibition showgrounds, from conferences, you name it. We will launch a new and regular Instagram live show to satisfy the demands of our new 150,000 strong following. And as if that weren't enough, we're going to launch a brand new podcast series to tap, and that's audio and video, by the way, a brand new podcast series to tap into the technology that is currently shaping the sector for the future. So, as the dark clouds gather and continue to gather, we fully understand if some decide to slow or even stop, we'll be here waiting to support them when the sunshine returns. But if you want to go on the attack with Demolition News and the Breakfast Show, we would be very, very proud to have you at our side.
Sorry to interrupt the guy with the funny glasses, but if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button as it helps our channel. Or, better still, share this video with a friend or a colleague. Thank you. Right, back to Beardy.
Beardy, she said. Right, that pretty much wraps up the main part of this morning's show. I'm going to roll the outro in just a second before leaping gazelle-like over into the chat to see what you're all saying today. If you can't stick around for that, then please stay safe, look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues. Have a great day, and thanks for watching. But if you do have the time and the inclination, I'll see you on the other side of this.